There's a 5-minute fix sitting inside your air conditioner right now that most people never learn about. And if you don't know it exists, you're one dead AC away from a repair bill that didn't need to happen. Every summer, thousands of AC units across the country grind to a halt for the exact same reason, and it has nothing to do with refrigerant, compressors, or anything expensive. It's water, just water, sitting somewhere it shouldn't be, doing exactly what stagnant water always does over time. Here's the pattern. You run your AC hard all summer, it shuts down for winter, and months later you fire it back up like nothing happened. Do that enough summers in a row and eventually the system just stops blowing cold air, or it starts leaking, or a shutoff switch trips for no obvious reason. At that point, most people do the only thing that feels reasonable. They call a technician, and that technician shows up, charges a service fee just to walk through the door, spends maybe 15 minutes on the actual repair, and leaves with a bill that can run into the hundreds. The frustrating part isn't the cost of the fix. It's that the fix itself is almost embarrassingly simple once you understand what's actually happening inside the unit. What's failing is your evaporator condensate drain. Every time your AC runs, the evaporator coil gets cold enough that humidity in the air condenses directly onto it. The same reason a cold glass of water sweats on a summer day. That condensation drips into a collection pan and needs somewhere to go, so it travels out through a length of PVC pipe, usually toward the outside of your house. If your system sits below ground level or your ductwork is in a basement, gravity can't do the job alone, so a small condensate pump kicks in periodically to push the water out instead. The problem is that water sitting in a pipe for months at a time isn't just water. It picks up airborne debris, it grows a thin film of mold and algae, and over time that buildup narrows the inside of the pipe the same way plaque narrows an artery. Add in the fact that condensate lines are rarely a straight shot. They bend, they elbow, they dip, and you've got the perfect environment for a clog to form exactly where you can't see it. So why doesn't every HVAC company tell you this up front? It's less about secrecy and more about how service businesses are structured. The basic clog clearing isn't a complicated job, but it still involves a truck roll, labor time, and diagnostic overhead, so it gets priced like any other service call, regardless of how simple the actual task is. That's just how the economics of in-home service work. The value isn't in the 5 minutes of physical work, it's in showing up with the knowledge and the tools already in hand. Once you have both of those yourself, the math changes completely. And this isn't some obscure hack. Plenty of HVAC technicians will tell you, off the clock, that this is one of the most common calls they run and one of the easiest to prevent. It's just not something that gets advertised because a 5-minute DIY fix doesn't generate repeat business. So here's how you actually clear it yourself, using 3 approaches from simplest to most thorough. The first method is a wet-dry shop vacuum. Find the condensate drain line where it exits your house. It's usually a piece of PVC sticking out near your outdoor unit or foundation. Remove the vacuum's filter first, since you're pulling water and sludge, not dry debris. Fit the vacuum hose snugly over the end of the pipe. A bit of tape around the seal helps, and run it for a few minutes. You may feel the hose pull or wobble as it grabs onto trapped material. When you check the canister afterward, don't be surprised if you find a slimy gel-like buildup. That's the accumulated mold and debris that's been narrowing your line. The second method goes further because vacuuming alone often can't dislodge buildup stuck to the interior walls of the pipe. For that, use a lightweight plumbing snake, not a heavy-duty drain auger. A thin, flexible snake around 1/4 inch in diameter is enough to agitate the inside of a condensate line without risking damage. A thick, rigid auger designed for larger drain pipes can puncture or crack the thinner PVC used in condensate lines, so stick with a lighter tool. Feed it in from the outside opening, work it in a few feet, then locate the clean-out access near your evaporator coil indoors, usually a removable cap on the drain line itself, and feed the snake in from that side too, meeting in the middle if possible. One thing you should actively avoid here is using compressed air to blast the line clear. It might seem like the fastest option, but you have no way of knowing how well the previous installer glued every joint in that line. A sudden burst of pressurized air can pop a poorly sealed connection apart entirely, turning a clogged pipe into a leaking one hidden behind your wall or under your house. The third method is simply flushing the line with hot tap water, not boiling water, since repeatedly subjecting old PVC joints to extreme heat can weaken the glue bonds over years of use. If you're dealing with stubborn algae or slime, adding roughly a cup of distilled vinegar to the water helps break it down further. A cheap flexible funnel makes this easy. Position it at the cleanout access, pour slowly, and let gravity do the rest. Once the line is clear, there's a genuinely useful prevention step worth adding to your routine. Condensate pan treatment tablets. Sure. These are slow-dissolving tablets placed directly in the drain pan. As condensation drips onto them, they release compounds that flow down through the line and help prevent algae and buildup from forming in the first place. They're not a permanent fix, Nothing in this system is, but used consistently as part of a monthly maintenance habit, they meaningfully cut down how often you'll need to clear the line again. None of this requires special training. It requires a shop vacuum, a light-duty snake, some hot water, and about 5 minutes of your time twice a year. The technician isn't hiding some rare skill from you. He's just the only one who happened to learn this before you did. The moment you understand how your own systems actually work, a lot of mystery repair bills stop being mysterious at all. That's really the bigger lesson here. Most of what gets billed as a specialist repair is just information someone else has, and you don't yet. This has been Hidden Fix Lab.